What's up, everybody? Zach is here with a review of TrendSpider. I recently have come across this technical analysis software that is very well suited for beginners that don't really know what they're doing, I guess you could say, or have a lot of experience with technical analysis in general. I think that TrendSpider would be very good for anyone that is just starting, trying to get an idea, but wants to get into trading, or for even intermediate and advanced. I mean, it just saves a lot of time. Why, you might ask? Because everything is automated. Let me make sure I am sharing the screen. Yep. Okay. So TrendSpider. The good thing about TrendSpider is that it is automated. So let me show. This is pretty much one click button. I would just chose Facebook. We can do an example on Facebook. I've set this up how I like it. I've been playing around with it for about a week now. I'm on a free trial. They are doing 45% off for Memorial Day sale until June the 1st, so that's pretty interesting. But anyways, if you don't have that, use the code 10TS. You're going to get 10% off. Follow the link in the description for the TrendSpider for the 10% off. Anyways, so for Facebook, I'm looking at one button click for auto fit. If you don't want to mess around with drawing out the Fibonacci pattern, you just click a button to turn it on and off. They're going to do it for you. Different trends. They can draw out the trend lines for you. These green circles are when the candlestick broke through. We're on the day chart, by the way, and the red would be when it broke through the other way, going down. And you can actually change. This is enhanced right now. You can change to original. You're going to see some other different lines. Also, they have standard. I like to use original standard. I mean, it really just depends. I've been messing around with it. You can also change it to the drawing input would be from the wick, the high low, or the body open closed. You can play around with it to see what you like best, and we'll adjust it just a little bit here. And also the gaps. You can respect or ignore the gaps. That changes it a lot. So I mean, there's a lot we can do with this to find. This looks pretty good though. I like it. And anyways, and you can right click. If we don't want this one, we could remove it. Remove this trend line. And the interesting thing is we can set an alert at a trend line. So let's say we're looking at Facebook here. This is on the day chart. So let's say Facebook, we want to see if it tests this resistance. So we could right click, we could create an alert at this line, maybe when it bounces on this. So that would be bounced down since this is above the current market price. We could set an alert when it touches, breakthrough, or all three. So let's just say it touches it, so we know what to do. We can set an alert. Let's call our alert. This is on the candle chart would be daily. That's what we're looking at right now. I like to trade on daily. Say the alert name, we could set like maybe, I like to do Facebook resistant test. And I can write a note, say check for direction. And how many days we want this to be good for, let's say just 10 days. And there we go. Our alert is created. So you can see it pops up on the alerts right here. I have different alerts. And then it's going to be highlighted. This trend line is actually going to be highlighted. So pretty much if it gets within here, we're going to get a text message and an email for our alerts. And now you can set a bunch of alerts. I think it's up to 100. Yeah, I have up to 100 alerts that I can set all at the same time. So that's really interesting. But anyways, you can play around with the trend lines. You can turn on the different periods. So this is going to be weekly periods here. Anyways, I don't really like that look, but it's pretty cool. Anyways, you can do the indicators. We can turn on our indicators. I like the two moving averages, the 50-day, the 100-day, sorry, 180-day, the RSI, and the MACD. Those are the ones that I like to use. I've set up over here to be the analyst estimates. So this is pretty interesting. So for Facebook or whatever stock you're looking at right now, we could switch over to Google, switch back to Facebook. It's all going to change. But anyways, we can open this to make it bigger. You can see every single analyst has a rating of a buy for Facebook, except for this one red, which is, we can hover over this and it's going to tell us 10 months ago, Nicholas Cote-Colizon from HSBC confirmed sell. That was 10 months ago, and they've kept this rating. But here, the recent ones, we can see, we can hover over, it's going to tell 1 is a hold. And then down here, we can see in the last 4 weeks, 12 have given Facebook a buy, 2 have given it a hold, and 0 have given it a sell. But also in the past year, we can look 66.31. So that's pretty interesting. And then these are the most recent ones, and you can keep scrolling down to see all of them. I mean, how handy is that? That's just so handy dandy. Okay, let's go ahead and collapse that. Also, the seasonality right here. So basically, this is going to tell us what month is it. It is currently May. So May, Facebook is 70% chance that all Mays in the past 9 years of data, 78% chance that May was positive for Facebook. And the average change for May was 0.83%. So you can hover over this, check it, which one is Facebook's worst months, which one are Facebook's best months. You could also do the day of the week. I mean, this is pretty interesting data. So let's see, consistently looks like Wednesday, 55, 53. So it looks like Wednesdays were the best days for Facebook, and the average change was 0.16, and that's 9 years of data. So anyways, I mean, you can obviously play around with this. I personally like monthly because I'm more of a long-term buy and hold swing investor, do some short-term options, and I definitely use this a lot. I can see myself using this a bunch for the short-term options anyways. But going back up to the top bar, the pattern. So the patterns is going to be interesting. I've turned on all the gap methods, so if there is a gap, it's going to identify the gaps for us, if it gaps up or down. So as you can see here, it gapped, and it'll kind of circle them. But you can do any, and it'll help you identify these patterns. So let's say you have a pattern that you want to look, maybe a hammer. So let's just go ahead and turn on our hammer. We can apply that, and then we see there is a hammer. It has identified for us right here. So, or also right here, the little H. They'll circle it for you. So I mean, if those are the candlestick patterns, or if those help you in your trading, they will identify for you automatically with a click of a button. And they have a bunch of patterns here if you like. So that's very useful. And then another interesting one that I haven't really seen used a lot is the heat map. So we click to turn on the heat map, and this is basically showing the volume at that certain price level. And we can change this heat map horizontal, the depth. It takes a little bit to load. And the one that I like is trends. I like to use this sometimes. But if we turn this on, we can see at these different trend lines. So there would be a lot of selling action, let's say if it hit this resistance. And so we're currently looking at Facebook going into this. There is not very much so far. I mean, there's definitely some up here, but not that much. And then you can see the strong buys and sells. Let's say if Facebook dipped down to this level, there would be a lot of volume buying it. But that's just the interest at those levels. So that's can be pretty useful, although it kind of, I feel like it clutters the chart a little bit, so I'll turn it on and turn it off just to see what's going on if I'm making a trade. And then the last one is events that you have. I mean, the events, you could do earnings, you can turn on dividend events, splits, analyst estimates, if any analyst comes out with the estimates, which they have a lot, and you can see that they will come up here. I like to keep it simple, like the earnings, because I always want to stay up to date with when the earnings are, because those are pretty useful as they should be. And then another thing that I want to show you guys, which is very interesting, is the MTFA. If you turn this on, we can overlay two charts on top of each other to see with the indicators, which is pretty interesting. So let's say we do a 4-hour laid over with a daily. So the dotted line, the versus the daily, the dotted line is going to be the versus, the daily. So as we can see, this is what we had right here for the daily. All right, but if we turn this off, you can see that the daily goes away. turn it back on, then the dotted lines will come back. So the daily 180-day moving average is this dotted yellow. The 4-hour is the solid yellow, and then it's the same for the solid red, the dotted red. So you can see both of the moving averages at the same time, and the indicators, also the RSI and the MACD down here. This thick green line is the super trend. I like the super trend. So you can see both the 4-hour and the daily super trend at the same time. So that's pretty cool. I feel like it clutters the chart a little bit, so I like to use it when I'm setting up a trade. But if I like to just keep it clean and simple, of course I will turn it on and off whenever I want. Also same with the fib too. I also feel like the Fibonacci lines will clutter the chart, but as you can see, they are pretty helpful. Anyways, you can also have multiple chart views here. Change it to the 2 chart view. You can have different stocks to look at it. And then, of course, we can draw our own lines, supports and resistance. You can draw your Fibonacci's, the circle, the squares. This one I like to measure how long this is. And then I can right click. I can clone it. I can move this up here to compare the different links and the slopes. That's interesting. That fits right up at our resistance that we have set the alert at. Interesting. But anyways, that's pretty much for me. So if I will keep watching Facebook and I will get an alert if it ever does go up here. Also, we have the volume shelf we could do. Yeah, it's pretty interesting though. Remove volume, right click, you can pretty much do everything. These lines, if you find this is cluttered right here, you could right click on this line, go to properties. You could from the start, you could do at the end. So this box is going to appear up here then to get it out of the way. But overall, this is pretty interesting, guys. I really like it. It just saves a lot of time because, in my opinion, the what you should be spending most of your time on is a fundamental analysis. Fundamentals are going to be much more important, in my opinion. But this is really fun. I'm having a lot of fun with it, and it just makes it so much faster, and I can save a lot of time here and then spend that time and invest that time in the fundamental analysis. So I think it's much better, in my opinion. And then one last thing, if you have the strategy tester, if it's available, we can test our strategies. So pretty much if we want to test the strategy, buy and sell, we can back test it and see how profitable it is. So let's just say, let's get rid of this. What can we do? We are going to add a parameter. We're going to do a condition. Let's say the indicator is going to be super trend, which I like. Is going to price has, let's say, touch the super trend buffer area. Let's just do 1. And yep. And then to get out, that's when we would buy, let's just say. And then to get out of it, we would take profit. Okay, we have take profits and trailing stops already set, but we could also add a condition. We could say indicator super trend again. Yo. On chart is going to be, let's say, decreased. But really you can just do whatever. Actually, I don't want to decrease. That wouldn't be right. Indicator super trend, it's going to bounced off of it, broke through it. So we could say bounced off of it and buffer of 1 again. So there we go. And then we can test this on the daily candlestick chart. Strategy tester, open long only. Okay, so then we can test it and see how profitable this strategy is. And as you can see, this strategy that I have just made up on the spur of the moment has one loser. 100% would have lost this strategy. So I haven't played, and this is for Facebook they tested data for 315 candles. So that's 315 days since this is daily candles. But nevertheless, I don't know. I just did some a random strategy. But anyways, you can play around with it. I mean, if you have a specific strategy, you can just automate everything. Test your strategy over like a year, or like hundreds of candles, no matter which it is on the daily candles or the hourly candles, whatever. And you can then set the alerts to automatically send you a message, and then can trade through your broker. I mean, it's pretty interesting. For me, the strategy tester, I'm not really need it for my strategies. I'm not a minute kind of candlestick guy, but if you are a minute kind of candlestick guy, there's nothing wrong with that. You could do on crypto or something like that. I mean, we could look at ETH right now. I was doing some analysis on ETH before. I was over on the enhanced here, and actually ETH just broke this big trend right here. And actually, if we look, the 4-hour cross with the daily, this is major. Ethereum just broke through the 50 moving average on the 4-hour and the 50 moving average on the daily chart, and it's approaching also this resistance here. It already broke 3 of those in the past day or so. So it's pretty interesting. I think ETH might be making a move towards probably around this level, 31.25 or something like that. But hey, this is just my technical analysis. Of course, everybody has their own ways, their own strategies, and you know, there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody is going to be a little bit different, but overall, I think TrendSpider, it's very useful, especially if you're a beginner, just to get some basic trend lines drawn out, turn on some basic indicators, look for those patterns for you, those candlestick patterns for you. There's a lot of different patterns out there, and if you can't remember them all, I think this is a very good start. Plus, they came across my radar with a 45% off Memorial Day sale, and of course, they usually will have the 10% off. If you use my link in the description, you will get the 10% off the 10TS. That is it. 10TS is the code that you enter to get 10% off TrendSpider. It's not very expensive. I think it's around, well, with the Memorial Day sale, I can get TrendSpider. Let's see, they have different plans. Let me check really quick so I don't miss. Say the normal price for the premium plan, which does not include backtesting, is $39 a month, and then the elite is $79 a month, and then the master is $119 a month. I will show you right here. But I don't think that most people will need the master. I think the elite is pretty good, and that will have the backtesting available in it. Plus the the seasonality. So I think that could be useful for some people, and the analyst for the elite. But again, you don't necessarily need that, because if you have Webull, you can pretty much get all that information anyways. Also Google search, but it's pretty streamlined, so it could be worth it. But really, the elite, they will have the back tester. So if you get this right now, 45% off. I mean, it's only $45 a month. Of course, you can pay yearly if you want, but $45 a month. This is with the Memorial Day sale, guys. So it's not bad. I think if you could lock that price in for the next year or so, it could be pretty interesting. But also, if you don't care about the back testing like me, then you could get it for, I think, $39 a month. I mean, 45% off that. It is pretty cheap. I mean, let's see, $21 a month or something like that. So this is better than TradingView in my opinion. I really like TrendSpider, and I appreciate TrendSpider for letting me take this opportunity to shout you guys out. And I mean, I'm liking it. I'm having fun. It's got crypto in it. It's got ETFs, it's got the funds, equities, stocks. I mean, it's pretty much got everything you need. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think about it. I personally like it a lot. They have a 7-day free trial, so go ahead and use the link in the description so you can get that 10% off, and you can get your 7-day free trial. That's what I've been doing. I'm on a free trial right now, but I'm pretty much sold on it. I think it's worth the $45 to get back testing and whatnot like that. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think, and I will see you on the other side. Peace.